On July 4th, 2026, America turns 250. The cake looks confident. The calendar does not. July 2nd, 1776 voted yes. July 4th, 1776 finished the announcement. August 2, 1776 brought most signatures. That is already 3 candles. One cake is not built for that much paperwork. So here is the weird part. The birthday is not exactly the birth. It is the date that won the job. That sounds like a mistake. It is more like a memory trick. A country cannot sell 3 birthdays. Try putting that on a parade banner. So July 4th became the neat button. Press it, and the messy machine lights up. First, the vote. On July 2nd, 1776, Congress said yes to independence. Huge moment. Terrible party visual. It is a room of tired men agreeing to a very dangerous sentence. No fireworks, no cake, probably several bad chairs. John Adams loved this date. He thought July 2nd would be the one people celebrated. He was wrong in the funniest possible paperwork way, because a vote is powerful, but a vote is also invisible. If you were not in the room, you missed it. The room needed a megaphone. Then came July 4th, 1776. That is when Congress adopted the Declaration. Now the vote had a public script. It had a voice. It had a document people could point at. It had complaints, principles, and a very formal breakup tone. Dear King, absolutely not. The Declaration did not make the Army vanish. It did not make the new country safe. It made the argument readable. That matters because readable things travel. And paper is a suspiciously athletic object. A handwritten decision sits still. A printed copy starts looking for witnesses. Late on July 4th, 1776, the printer got the job. John Dunlap printed the broadside copies. Those sheets moved into towns and newspapers, then taverns and public squares. The argument escaped the room. Now a person did not need to be in Congress. They just needed someone loud with a sheet of paper. On July 8th, 1776, it was read publicly in Philadelphia. Imagine the first comment section, but with horses. Some people heard a brave announcement. Some heard treason with better handwriting. The same words could sound like liberty or a wanted poster. That is why July 4th is sticky. It is not only a date, it is the moment the private decision became public theater. Then history did what history always does. It got messy immediately. The famous signing scene looks clean in your head. Big table, big parchment, everyone politely risking their necks at once. Beautiful image, very suspicious image. Most delegates signed the engrossed declaration later, on August 6, 1776. Some signatures came later. Some famous names were not there in the way the poster in your brain suggests. The painting version is great for walls. The real version is better for clerks. A giant signing moment is easy to remember. A staggered administrative process is harder to barbecue around. So memory tidied the table. It gave us one room, one parchment, one day. Very convenient, not quite honest. The point is not that July 4th is fake. The point is that July 4 does a different job. July 2 is the decision. July 4 is the announcement. August 2 is the signature machine getting serious. July 4 wins because birthdays need a button. A button is simple. A timeline is a drawer full of forks. Public memory hates the fork drawer. It wants one handle, one candle. One sentence children can repeat before dessert. That is the useful side of the trick. Rituals need compression. If every holiday explained every footnote, nobody would finish lunch. So countries make icons, flags, songs, cakes, small explosive weather. They take a complicated thing and give it a shape. But the shape can start bossing the truth around. That is where the birthday gets uncomfortable. The Declaration says all men are created equal. Great sentence. Extremely ambitious sentence. Also a sentence written inside a society that did not live up to it. Enslaved people were outside the party. Women were outside the political room. Native nations were not waiting politely to become a decorative map. The candle was bright. The guest list was a disaster. That does not make the sentence meaningless. It makes the sentence dangerous. Because once it exists, people can pick it up. They can point it back at the country. They can say, "You wrote this, now act like it." In 1852, Frederick Douglass asked a hard question. What did July 4th mean to the enslaved? That question did not ruin the birthday. It made the birthday harder to lie through. A real anniversary can survive questions. A fake one needs everyone to clap on schedule. So the birthday keeps changing jobs. Sometimes it is a celebration. Sometimes it is a receipt. Sometimes it is a courtroom exhibit with frosting. Every generation brings a different candle to the same cake. One says freedom, one says hypocrisy, one says unfinished business. The cake is getting crowded. That is why the 3-date problem matters. It teaches the larger trick. America was not born as one clean moment. It was voted, written, printed, read aloud, signed, argued over, used against itself, and then repackaged for annual public use. That sounds cynical. It is also how nations remember anything. They edit chaos into a ritual, then people fight over the edit. On July 4th, 2026, the neat candle gets the spotlight again. July 2nd still taps its foot. August 2nd still holds the pen. The printer is still covered in ink. The people left outside are still part of the story, and the cake is still full of paperwork. So yes, celebrate the birthday. Just do not let the candle bully the calendar. The real story is messier. That is why it is still alive. America was not born in a moment. It was edited into one.